The trail is going to test you. The weather, the terrain, just the distance. You can get yourself ready for it just to minimize the damage. I always try to push myself and see how far I can go, and I decided if I'm going for the Cape Wrath, I'm going to give all I have. I came to Scotland in 2013. I was smoking a lot, like 20 cigarettes a day, drinking a lot, and basically I was obese, 16 stone. I knew I can't follow that path any longer, and I decided 2 months after I arrived to quit smoking, and I never smoked a cigarette again. I have family, a wife, 2 children, lots of animals, and full-time job. So that keeps me busy non-stop. We live in the Scottish Highlands on the west coast, Malig.
When we got together, he was doing like short runs. We had Freya, our youngest, just as she was starting to get a bit older, it was easier for him to kind of go off and do longer runs. He got the idea in his head about what he could, you know, what the humans can do, what the body's capable of, and there's kind of extreme challenges.
I've watched, as I've worked with him, I've watched his progression, if you like, in the sport that he's choosing. He's done the Ramsey round, he's done the Paddy Buckley round.
That was it. You could tell there was like, you know, that wee fire had been ignited in him, and he was like, yes, I want to do more. Dropping me hints for the next rounds.
But then he set his sights on things closer to home, and I think he set his sights on making more of a mark. And the first thing he did was the Ben Nevis challenge.
The idea was to ascend Ben Nevis many times as possible within 24 hours.
Previous record being 6. Yeah, Pawel went and did 7. I think it made him realise that he could do something.
The first time that I helped Pawel would have been when he was doing the Great Glen Way. He asked if I would help assist him, and yeah, I didn't really know exactly what that entailed. But yeah, I thought, you know what, we'll give it a go. And yeah, that would have been the first challenge that I helped out with.
Unbelievable, Pawel!
And then across 2022, I ran the Great Glen Way, West Highland Way, Road to the Isles Way, and East Highland Way.
And the other thing that he's done with all of these is he's gone absolutely unsupported with it all.
Pawel's just sort of gone through as many as he can, as quickly as he can.
He's kind of done a lot in a very short time, it feels.
I think he began to feel a lot more confident about taking on something like the Cape Wrath Trail.
The Cape Wrath Trail is a route from Fort William to Cape Wrath Lighthouse. My work colleague Brad, he completed the route, and he talked a lot at work about it, and it just got stuck in my head.
When I first looked at it, this is just, oh, what's the Cape Wrath Trail? You know, Cape Wrath, wow, you know, that's really enticing. You know, you want to know more, don't you? It's just something like that, it just hooks you right in.
I walked the Cape Wrath Trail in 2019.
I took 16 days and I had a couple of rest days. I was just going easy with the dog. You're going to need to cover 235 miles. 14 days you kind of see as a good average, a good standard. There's just so much to it. There's so much in there.
You're going through pathless, wild Scotland.
The Cape Wrath Trail's completely almost off the grid. Once you start, you're away from civilization for long periods of time.
You'll be running through some really amazing historical places like Glenfinnan. You'll be under the Glenfinnan Viaduct. So you're using like old paths that were used hundreds of years ago from the people that used to live there before the clearances. So it is a really like a hike through history.
When you see so many old settlements that are a few big stones left of it, and you can sort of look back and think how life was. Obviously around here there is a lot of history going back, you know, Jacobites, etc. History-wise, he's pretty clued up.
Cape Wrath Trail, it's a northward trail. You go through large parts of Knoydart, Kinlochhourn, Shield Bridge, you keep moving north. Ullapool, you keep heading north, you just keep going north. Eventually you're going to get to Kinlochbervie, Sandwood Bay, and then you're at Cape Wrath.
Cape Wrath is a mix of different routes, so the route is not marked at all. You can personalize your experience. Brad actually mentioned a few times I actually have a shot at it just to experience it. He wants people to be successful and he's helping them to achieve that.
The guidebook for me was a really good source of information. I used to sit and read it, you know, before I went. We just started talking about it. The next thing I said, do you want to borrow the book? And he said, well, I've already got it. And I thought, all right, okay. That's the way it is then. Gradually, the chat became a little bit more technical. What do I think the hardest parts were? Where do you think you'd struggle most? We spent a lot of time like that.
We looked online at a website, fastestknowntime.com, sometimes abbreviated to FKT, which logs records for long-distance routes.
After looking online, I found the times that were just under 4 days, which was a supported route. Make me think I might be able to get the actual record for the overall time, like the fastest time. We came with a plan that I'm going to go unsupported. That means I will carry everything from the start.
Doing something like the Cape Wrath Trail unsupported, it means that everything that you carry with you is all that you've got to sustain you through to the end. The only thing that you can take that you don't have to carry is water, but you can only take water off the hill. You can't go in a shop and buy it. You can't have somebody hand you a bottle.
It doesn't matter how long it's going to take me, but I'm going to complete it. And now I'm going to record the first unsupported time of the hike, and as fast as I can.
So the start point is in Fort William. There's a little pier there. You take the ferry over from Fort William to a place called Camas Nagol, directly across Loch Linney there, and that's the official start.
Didn't sleep much last night. And woke up earlier than planned. My dad-in-law, Alan, took me from Malek to Fort William. I had friends, had support there. Joanna from the charity showed up from Lochaber, friends from work.
Pawel's been talking about this on and off for months, even probably getting into years.
I'm really nervous. I've never done this before. I've done the mountain rounds, 24-hour rounds before, but I was always supported. There were people about. I'll have to be just me and the nature.
The blooming ferry was supposed to be leaving at 7:30. We're all standing there at 7:30. There's no sign of anybody. It wasn't even on the pier, it was on its mooring. And it's like, is he gonna go? Okay, that's definitely now. That's definitely now.
People are waiting for me to start, just pacing.
You know that there's been so much planning, so many hours poring over maps, looking through guidebooks. But all that comes to fruition when you're standing on that pier at that moment. There was a moment where you actually thought, we're not even going to get on a boat here, you know. And that could have been a possibility.
Yeah.
But the guy turned up then.
Morning. Hey, good.
And I think it actually left at 8 o'clock, didn't it?
I jumped on the boat, waved everyone goodbye, and that was it. Timer went on, the clock started ticking.
We wanted to film as much as we could of the challenge. And then it became apparent that the FKT rules deem that that would be some kind of support. So that basically meant that all we could do was wave him off at Fort William, and we were allowed to meet him at Cape Wrath and welcome him in. I think he was running at 8 kilometres an hour or something silly like that. I think that was the kind of pace he was setting when he went off. Well, he went off like a train, didn't he? Crikey.
Okay, that's me 6 hours, 40 minutes into my Cape Wrath. Oh, that was hard on the way down there. My feet started to feel a bit sore. I was like, oh, I don't know what that is. I'd never experienced pain that quick in a long distance run. So my head started to tell me that I am not up for this. I'm already in pain. I have another 300 kilometers to go.
When I was on the Cape Wrath Trail, I felt a couple of times that you just want to stop and you wish that something can just come out of the air and pluck you up. And then you come to terms with your situation. You've got to get on with it. And that's at the back of everything, that's the bottom line.
My training was basically trying to get my body ready to minimize the final damage.
I've seen him training, I've seen what he's put into it. He's been running 120, 150 kilometres a week.
I trained my mind to try to go as far as I can with pain. And 90% of the times it's just the brain trying to play a trick on us. And in that case, it was trying to play a trick on me, so I'm happy I didn't give up. It continued raining non-stop until I got to Mulbuy Bothy, and that's where I stopped first time. The weather is absolutely brutal. Nothing is going to stay dry in this. Oh man. The wind is going to ease off. I can see the clouds brightening up. It's getting brighter. The rain is going to stop soon. And it did. And it eventually stopped raining. So I think because the weather finally cleared up, I had a horrendous morning. We just, it didn't stop. It didn't stop. The rain was just bucketing down for hours. My legs are absolutely buggered. My feet were really hurting, like really hurting. The wet ground just made them hurt much quicker than I was expecting. I stopped earlier to change my socks. I didn't change them for almost 35 hours. I had a good look, and oh, yeah, but I'll be missing a few bits and a few blisters as well. Enjoys it. Fisher Fields, that tested me. I don't remember much of that part. My hallucinations started on the second night. I remember suddenly 2 runners appeared and I started shouting them and they're in the wrong place. They should be higher up, I'm in the right place. But I didn't know at that point I'm losing my mind here. Around 3 o'clock, I was like seeing buildings on top of a ridge. Of course they shouldn't be there. Yeah, but I saw them, and after a few blinks and a readjustment, they disappeared. I was like, okay, that's new. I'm just over 100, maybe 110k to go to the lighthouse. And I said I am going to be in a new world of pain. Yeah, I'm there. My feet are destroyed. It's hard to really recollect the actual order of what happened. Just before Inchnadam, I could see like a river junction. And there was ruins of 2 buildings, like old, maybe pre-clearance ruins of buildings. I felt like I'm home in Glen Nevis. It felt like there's people been here before me. I felt like home. It felt like I'm safe. Someone lived here. It felt sad, but at peace. So that was kind of weird feeling. In the 1800s, 1900s, the clearances started to happen in the Highlands. They started forcefully removing families, people from the land, and they didn't have any choice. People don't forget this. They will never forget this. This was a really big, it's an important thing in the history of Scotland. The sun is up, blue sky, super windy, so we might get some heat soon, I hope. I'm still on schedule for an FKT. That area made me realize the feeling about the clearances. I saw a woman carrying a bunch of twigs on her back or sticks and 2 girls. The woman turned her head, nodded and patted her daughter, and they continued walking and then disappeared. I couldn't believe it, I saw that. I found a sheltered area. I patted some bracken and I fell asleep. 20 minutes. And I woke up and I saw my wife and my children standing in front of me. And basically my wife telling me to get together. Come on, you're almost home, you almost finished this, you need to get this done. It's like, come on, get it going. And I just shot like an arrow. I don't know if I should be filming now or just focusing on the finish. 40k to go. Last hill. I'm absolutely done. I never experienced so much pain. Never ever. My feet are shredded.
It was an intense, last wee while. I guess for us sitting at home, it feels like he should be done by now. He looks like he's only got that much on the map, but then you realise that's still, quite a distance to be running, and at that stage,
Pawel was closing in on the Cape Wrath Trail and heading for the overall fastest known time. Meanwhile, a group of us were travelling northward to watch him cross the finish line.
There was a particular part where we drove through Bendreevy and you're under Arkle. It was like I knew that he'd just been through there. He'd just been through there. That was a real, goosebump moment.
And Pawel was only 25 kilometres or so from the end of his journey.
It's good! Aye!
That part felt like some kind of chase going on, you know, and something really dramatic was about to happen, and we were like, driving along in the cars, and, come on, quick!
And then finally, we reached Cape Wrath.
Cape Wrath is on a peninsula. You're not going to be moving north anymore because there's going to be no more land to move over. You can't actually see the lighthouse till the very last minute, but you can see the end of the land, and then you just see miles and miles and miles of sea beyond it.
I'll be going almost in a straight line now to the lighthouse. This is the last stretch.
You realise he's on that final 20 kilometres, and he's going to be there tonight.
I just didn't want to run in the dark again. I don't want to do this anymore. I have to finish. I am going to get the record, but I need to finish.
And while Pawel was running his final miles, we fixed his Polish flag to the finishing point, the gate underneath the lighthouse.
Oh well, Brad, it was your idea. Well, maybe.
Yeah, blame me. His wife does.
There's no signal up there, was there? We didn't know exactly when he was going to be coming in because we couldn't actually stand there with our trackers.
Just before the lighthouse, the pain came back with vengeance. And everything just went loose.
When you're approaching the lighthouse, you're coming in from overland there, you don't see the lighthouse till the very last minute. But by the same token, we didn't see him till the very last moment either.
What'd you make of it, Brad?
Oh, this is just off the scale.
Off the
How
scale.
we ended up here doing this.
I know.
What a time to be alive. Wow. We ended something really special.
And then that was it, we saw his head torch.
And I spotted the buildings and I spotted the cameras.
Go on, Pawel!
I touched the fence and stopped to watch.
Well done, mate.
Remind me not to do that again. I was in so much pain. Yeah.
Oh, the demons came out again. Just when it got dark.
Yeah, he just kind of stood there for a while, and it was like he didn't know how to stand, he didn't know how to hold his posture.
I loved it.
Yeah.
But I hated it.
It was like he didn't know what to do, you know?
Proud of you. Amazing. Absolutely proud of you. Brilliant. I can't believe you've done it either. Can I have my kit back? What's all this on here? You've got mud everywhere.
I knew I see a real human now. You know, it was really good to actually, embrace someone that actually feel a human. 3 days, 14 hours, 49 minutes.
Whoa.
There you go, mate.
Thank you. Oh my
Better than the bag.
Done.
Done.
Cheers, thank you.
Good health.
For organising.
Grand effort. What an absolute champion effort that was. Amazing. That's going to take some beating, that. Well done.
I felt like as exhausted as he does, it feels sometimes like Just so much excitement. So proud of him. Oh, I was just over the moon.
You know what? I think your record's going to stand for a wee while, mate. I reckon so. I don't think there's any.
I hope so.
I don't think there's anybody
I
else
haven't done
fucking
this to be like demolished
crazy
next
enough
week.
to do that. Honestly, that's just pure craziness.